My nephew called me a dinosaur with a debit card at Thanksgiving dinner. 3 months later, I owned his entire crypto portfolio, and he had no idea. By month six, I'd turned his $47,000 into 4.2 million. This is the story of how a 58-year-old high school math teacher became a crypto millionaire using nothing but spite, spreadsheets, and her nephew's own arrogance against him. It was November 2020, and my sister's dining room smelled like roasted turkey and impending family drama. I should have known something was brewing when my nephew, Tyler, showed up in a Lamborghini hoodie and Bitcoin socks. "Aunt Margaret," he said, flashing his phone at me during dessert, "you're still using a savings account?" He said it the way someone might say, rotary phone or VHS player. I just mentioned putting away $200 a month for retirement. Teacher's pension, modest savings, the usual. Nothing fancy, but stable, responsible. Tyler laughed, not a chuckle, but that condescending tech bro laugh that echoes in your soul. "That's adorable. I made $200 in the time it took you to say that sentence." He proceeded to explain, loudly, to the entire table how he'd turned $15,000 into $50,000 in 6 months through strategic crypto investments. My brother-in-law beamed with pride. My sister looked nervous. I felt something ignite in my chest. Not anger exactly, but something colder, more calculating. "Aunt Marge, no offense, but you're just too old to understand this stuff," Tyler continued, shoving pumpkin pie into his mouth. "Crypto is a young person's game. It moves too fast for, your generation." I smiled, nodded, asked him to explain more. And that's when I started taking notes. Here's what Tyler didn't know about his Aunt Margaret. I taught AP calculus and statistics for 32 years. I spent my 20s as a day trader, briefly, before teaching. I ran a successful eBay business in the early 2000s that put both my kids through college. I once won $43,000 in a poker tournament in Atlantic City. But sure, I was too old to understand numbers going up and down. That Thanksgiving night, I went home and did something I hadn't done in years. I pulled an all-nighter. Not grading papers, researching. I started with the basics. Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain technology, wallets, exchanges, gas fees, mining, proof of work, proof of stake. I watched YouTube videos at 1.5x speed. I joined Reddit communities, I lurked in Discord servers, I read white papers until my eyes burned. By 3 a.m., I understood something crucial. Crypto wasn't magic. It was mathematics, game theory, and market psychology wrapped in millennial marketing. By dawn, I'd created accounts on 3 exchanges. By the end of the week, I'd invested $5,000 of my own money, not to get rich, but to learn. I bought small amounts of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few random altcoins Tyler had mentioned. I tracked everything in a spreadsheet with the kind of obsessive detail I usually reserve for gradebook calculations. Then I did something Tyler would never think to do. I studied him. Over Christmas dinner, I played dumb. I asked him simple questions. I let him explain things I already understood. I watched him type on his phone, noting the way his eyes tracked. I memorized patterns. "Which exchange do you use?" I asked innocently. "Binance mostly, and Coinbase for the normie stuff." He said, not looking up. "How do you keep track of everything?" "I use TradingView for charts, and I keep my seed phrases in a notes app. Super convenient." My eye twitched. A notes app. This child was sitting on $50,000 in crypto assets with his security stored in a notes app. "That sounds complicated," I said sweetly. "You must be very tech-savvy." He smirked. "Like I said, Aunt Marge, young person's game." I filed that away too. Over the next month, I became fluent in crypto. Not just the trading, the culture, the memes, the language. I learned what WAGM meant and diamond hands meant. I understood the difference between sir and sir in crypto Twitter discourse. I knew why people posted rocket emojis and talked about going to the moon. But more importantly, I learned technical analysis, on-chain metrics, and market psychology. I studied whales. I tracked wallet movements. I learned to read fear and greed indexes. By February 2021, my $5,000 had grown to $8,200. Not bad, but I wasn't doing this for 64% gains. I was preparing for something bigger.
So I want to ask you something. What's your parking receipt? What discovery, what moment, what crisis revealed that your life needed to change? And more importantly, what did you build from those ashes? Because here's what I've learned in my 74 years. We all have a choice when life breaks us. We can stay broken, pointing to our wounds and saying, "Look what they did to me." Or we can gather up those broken pieces and create something new, something stronger, something authentically ours. The woman who found that parking receipt was terrified, dependent, lost. The woman I am today is none of those things, and the journey between then and now, painful as it was, made me who I am. Your story might be different from mine. Your pain might look different, but the potential for transformation is the same. You are stronger than you know. You are capable of more than you imagine, and your ending might just be the beginning you've been waiting for. Now, before you close this video, I need you to do something for me. If this story touched your heart, if it made you think about your own journey, if it gave you hope that transformation is possible, I want you to hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me, though I love sharing these stories with you, but for yourself. Because subscribing is like planting a flag that says, I believe in second chances. I believe in transformation. I believe that endings can become beginnings. And while you're at it, tap that like button, because every like is a message to someone else out there who needs to hear that they can survive betrayal, they can rebuild, they can thrive. Your like might be the reason this story reaches someone who desperately needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me, what's the unexpected blessing that came from your biggest challenge? I read every single comment, and your stories inspire me just as much as I hope mine inspire you. Finally, share this with one person who needs to hear it. Just one. Maybe it's someone going through a divorce. Maybe it's someone who feels trapped in their life. Maybe it's someone who needs to believe that change is possible. You know who needs this. Send it to them. Remember, my beautiful souls, the parking receipt that destroyed my marriage 45 years ago saved my life. Your crisis might be your salvation too. Until next time, this is Eleanor Hartford reminding you that the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's living so well that the past becomes irrelevant. Now go smash those buttons like your future self is depending on it. Because she is. With love and hope for your journey, Eleanor Hartford. P.S. If you made it all the way to the end of this story, you're already stronger than you think. The fact that you stayed, that you listened, that you engaged with a 74-year-old woman's story means you're searching for something. Maybe it's hope. Maybe it's inspiration. Maybe it's just the reassurance that you're not alone. Whatever you're looking for, I hope you found a piece of it here. And I'll be here every week, sharing more stories from my life and the lives of remarkable women who turn their trials into triumphs, because these stories need to be told. Your story needs to be told. So don't just watch passively. Join this community. Be part of this conversation. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and let's build something beautiful together. A space where we celebrate survival, honor transformation, and prove that it's never too late to rewrite your story. The parking receipt changed my life 45 years ago. Maybe this video will be yours. See you next week, beautiful souls. Keep shining.
It happened in March at my mother's birthday party. Tyler had too much wine. He was showing off his portfolio to his cousin, waving his phone around, explaining his genius investment strategy. I sat quietly in the corner, pretending to scroll through Facebook. "Dude, I'm up like 300% on some of these," he slurred. "Check out this wallet. I've got it all right here." He opened his crypto wallet app. Right there, in front of God, family, and me. I didn't even need to look hard. His face was drunk bright, confident, careless. The phone was angled just enough, and when he went to the bathroom, he left it on the couch, face down, next to me. I'm not proud of what I did next. Actually, that's a lie. I'm extremely proud. I picked up the phone. It unlocked with face recognition when his younger sister walked by. They have similar features. The camera must have glitched. I had maybe 90 seconds. I opened his notes app. There they were. Seed phrases, multiple wallets, all clearly labeled. Main wallet, trading account, hodl stack. I took pictures with my own phone. My hands didn't shake once. When Tyler came back, I was innocently looking at my own phone, scrolling through a recipe for banana bread. That night, sitting in my kitchen, with both phones in front of me, I had a choice. The angel on my shoulder said, "Margaret, this is theft. This is wrong. You could go to jail. You're a teacher, for God's sakes. Delete those photos." The devil on my shoulder said, "He called you a dinosaur. He mocked you in front of your family. He's storing life-changing money in a notes app. He deserves to learn a lesson." The mathematician in the middle said, "Those seed phrases are access to approximately $47,000. The market is bullish. With proper risk management and strategic positioning, you could 10x that in 6 months." I sat there for exactly 10 minutes. Then I imported his wallets into my own wallet. I had complete access. Every coin, every token, every Satoshi. But I didn't take anything. Not yet. Instead, I did something smarter. I watched. For 2 weeks, I monitored Tyler's wallets like a hawk stalking prey. I watched every transaction. I studied his patterns. He was, as I suspected, a terrible trader. He bought high, sold low, and panic dumped at the worst possible times. He chased pumps. He fell for Telegram group pump and dumps. He held trash coins while selling winners too early. He made every rookie mistake in the book. More importantly, he never checked his seed phrases, never changed them, never updated his security. The Notes app stayed exactly the same. This told me everything. Tyler wasn't a crypto genius. He'd gotten lucky in a bull market. He understood nothing about security, risk management, or actual strategy. He was a tourist in a gold rush who'd stumbled onto a nugget. Meanwhile, I was studying the entire mountain. I spent those weeks developing my strategy. I created detailed spreadsheets tracking every major crypto asset. I built predictive models using regression analysis. I studied whale wallet movements and exchange flows. I joined private Discord groups and signal channels. I lurked in communities where actual smart money discussed plays. I learned about Layer 2 solutions, DeFi protocols, yield farming, and liquidity mining before they became mainstream topics. By April 2021, I was ready. Bitcoin had just crashed from $64,000 to $47,000. The market was fearful. Everyone was panicking, except me. On April 23rd, 2021, at 2:47 a.m., I made my move. I didn't steal Tyler's crypto outright. That would be too obvious. Instead, I did something more elegant. I became him. Using his seed phrases, I accessed his wallets. Then, using my own funds, I bought identical positions in a separate wallet. Every coin he held, I held. Every allocation, I matched. Then I watched his trades in real time. Every move he made, I did the opposite. He sold Bitcoin at 47,000 in panic. I bought more. He chased a random altcoin pump. I shorted it using perpetual futures. He held a shitcoin that was clearly dumping. I sold it short. I became his portfolio shadow, but inverted. I was the anti-Tyler. But here's where it gets interesting. I didn't just inverse him. I used his wallet activity as a contrarian indicator. In trading, there's a concept called dumb money, retail investors who consistently make wrong moves. Tyler was my perfect dumb money signal. When his wallet showed panic, I knew to be greedy. When he showed greed, I knew to be cautious. It was like having a crystal ball that showed me exactly what not to do. My initial matched position of $47,000 from my own trading account, not his, not yet, started growing. Within 2 weeks, I was up 22%. Tiller was down 15%. The divergence was beautiful. By May, I'd proven my system worked. My shadow portfolio had grown to $68,000, while Tyler's had shrunk to $41,000. That's when I did it. On May 19th, 2021, the day of the big crypto crash, when Bitcoin dumped from $43,000 to $30,000 in hours, I accessed Tyler's wallets again. But I didn't steal his crypto. I saved it. I transferred every asset out of his poorly secured wallets into new wallets with proper security that I controlled. Then I left him a note in his empty wallet, a transaction memo that said, "Your security was terrible. You're welcome. M." By the time Tyler noticed, his portfolio was already in my control. He must have panicked, checked his notes app, realized someone had access. But what could he do? Report it? Admit he'd stored $40,000 in crypto seed phrases in his iPhone Notes app? Admit he'd left his phone unlocked around family? I waited for the phone call. It never came. Here's why. Tyler couldn't admit what happened. Admitting his crypto got hacked would mean admitting he'd been an idiot about security. It would mean admitting he'd been flexing about money he lost. It would mean humiliation in front of the same family he'd bragged to. So he said nothing, and I went to work. With $41,000 of Tyler's crypto now in my secure wallets, yes, technically I stole it. We'll address the morality later. I implemented what I called the dinosaur strategy. The plan was simple. Phase 1, preservation, May to June 2021. During the crash, I moved everything into stablecoins, USDC primarily. I preserved capital while the market bled. Tyler would have panic held or panic sold at the bottom. I calculated. Phase 2, accumulation, July to September 2021. I dollar cost averaged back into blue chip crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. I bought the dip everyone was afraid of. I also identified 3 low-cap gems using on-chain analysis and positioned early. Phase 3, diversification, October, November 2021. I spread into DeFi protocols with real utility. I provided liquidity. I staked. I farmed yields. I made the money work 24/7. Phase 4, strategic trading, December 2021 to March 2022. I took profits at resistance levels. I re-entered on dips. I used technical analysis combined with market psychology. Every trade was calculated, logged, analyzed. By December 2021, Tyler's original $41,000 had become $180,000. By March 2022, despite the bear market starting,
I was at $290,000. I was just getting started. Here's where too old to understand crypto became my superpower. When the 2022 bear market hit, every young crypto bro panicked. They'd never seen their portfolios drop 80%. They'd never experienced real fear. But I had. I'd lived through the 2000 dot-com crash, the 2008 financial crisis. I'd seen markets collapse before. I knew something they didn't. Bears make you rich if you know what you're doing. While Tyler, wherever he was licking his wounds, and his friends were selling, deleting apps, and pretending crypto never happened, I was buying Bitcoin at $17,000 when everyone said it was going to zero, accumulating Ethereum at $900 when people called it dead, identifying which DeFi protocols would survive and which were scams, building positions in infrastructure projects nobody was talking about. I also did something critical. I took $50,000 off the table, paid off my mortgage. That's the thing about experience. You know when to take chips off the table. The remaining $240,000 became my war chest. Every month, like clockwork, I bought $5,000 here, $10,000 there, sometimes more. I'd returned to teaching in fall 2022, and colleagues would complain about their 401ks being down. I'd nod sympathetically while mentally calculating my crypto positions. By December 2022, I'd accumulated 8.7 Bitcoin, average price $19,400, 94 Ethereum, average price $1,150, significant positions in Solana, Polygon, Chainlink, and 3 other projects. Total portfolio value at those depressed prices, $312,000. On paper, I was barely up from where I'd been in March, but I knew I was sitting on a powder keg. I just had to wait. 2023 was the year that separated me from Tyler's generation entirely. They wanted instant gratification, Lambos, moon, when. I wanted compounding returns and strategic patience. In January, I started taking profits on my trading stack. Not my hodl stack, that stayed untouched. But I actively traded 20% of my portfolio using technical analysis and market structure. I learned futures trading properly, with risk management, stop losses, position sizing. When Bitcoin pumped to $31,000 in April, I took profits. When it crashed back to $25,000, I bought again. I did this over and over. Every trade was calculated, every position sized appropriately. I treated it like a business because that's what it was. By summer, something wild happened. Bitcoin started climbing. The BlackRock ETF rumors began. Smart money was accumulating. I watched my portfolio like a gardener watching spring blooms. $400,000 in June, $520,000 in August, $680,000 in October. When Bitcoin crossed $35,000 in November, I made a decision. I took another $100,000 off the table, put it in a high-yield savings account. Conservative? Boring. Dinosaur-like. But now I had $100,000 in cash, no mortgage, and still had $580,000 in crypto. This is what too old to understand crypto looks like.
Then came 2024, the year everything went parabolic. The Bitcoin ETF got approved in January. Institutions flooded in. The halving happened in April. The supply shock was real. My cost basis on Bitcoin was around $19,400. Bitcoin went to $73,000. Do the math. Each of my 8.7 Bitcoin went from $19,400 to $73,000. That's $635,100 from Bitcoin alone. Ethereum followed. My 94 ETH at a $1,150 cost basis pumped to $4,000. That's $376,000. My altcoins? Solana went from $12 to $200. Chainlink exploded. Polygon pumped. By March 2024, 3 years after taking Tyler's portfolio, I crossed $1.8 million. I sat in my classroom during study hall, grading trig quizzes while my phone buzzed with price alerts. No one knew. Not my children, not my colleagues, not my sister or brother-in-law. Certainly not Tyler. I kept teaching, kept living in my modest house, kept driving my 2015 Honda Accord. But I'd hit millionaire status using Tyler's gift and my own supposedly dinosaur brain. By November 2024, my portfolio peaked at $4.2 million. Let me say that again. $4.2 million. From $41,000 in borrowed crypto and my own strategic trading. I'd 100x'd Tyler's portfolio in 3.5 years. At that point, I did what any smart dinosaur would do. I took the majority off the table. I sold 80% of my positions, converted to USD, paid the capital gains taxes, ouch, but necessary, set up trusts for my grandchildren, donated to charity, maxed out retirement accounts. I kept $840,000 in crypto for the next cycle. Let it ride. The remaining $3.36 million after taxes got diversified into real estate investments, index funds, bonds, and a very nice vacation home in Vermont. I retired from teaching in January 2025. Didn't have to. Wanted to. 32 years was enough. My pension plus passive income now exceeds what I made teaching, and I still have nearly $1 million in crypto waiting for the next bull run. Now here's the part you've been waiting for. Did Tyler ever find out? Yes. Last month at Easter dinner, Tyler showed up. Quieter now. Humbler. He'd apparently lost most of his crypto in the 2022 crash, panicked out, and never got back in. He's back to working a normal job. The Lamborghini hoodie is gone. He looks older. Tired. Over coffee, my sister mentioned I'd retired early. "How'd you manage that, Aunt Marge?" Tyler asked. "Teacher pension alone can't be that good." I smiled, the same smile from Thanksgiving 2020. "Oh, savings, investments, some smart plays in crypto." His head snapped up. "You invested in crypto?" "Mm-hmm. Did quite well, actually." "When did you start?" "Around Thanksgiving 2020. You inspired me, actually. Remember that conversation?" His face went pale. I could see him calculating, remembering. "You remember telling me I was too old to understand it, right? That really motivated me to learn." How much did you make?" I sipped my coffee. Enough to retire at 58, enough to never worry about money again, enough to know that age and wisdom beat youth and arrogance every single time. He stammered. But I don't understand. I lost everything in the crash." "Did you?" I leaned forward. "Or did someone with better security and better strategy take it from your poorly secured wallet and turned it into millions?" The color drained from his face. Full realization. You, that was you?" I didn't confirm, didn't deny, just smiled. "Tyler, let me teach you something. The crypto space doesn't care about your age. It cares about your discipline, your risk management, your emotional control, and your ability to learn. You had none of those. You had luck in a bull market and an ego that wrote checks your knowledge couldn't cash." I stood up, leaving my empty coffee cup. "Also, stop storing seed phrases in a notes app. That's how dinosaurs eat young flesh." I walked away. He never said a word to anyone. What could he say? So, what did I learn from becoming a crypto millionaire off my nephew's arrogance? Lesson 1. Age is an advantage, not a handicap. Experience with other market cycles, emotional discipline, and patience are worth more than speed and youth. I'd seen crashes before. I knew how to wait. That's what won. Lesson 2. Security is everything. Tyler lost his portfolio because he treated it like a game. I secured mine like it was my life savings, because it became exactly that. Lesson 3. Contrarian thinking pays. When everyone's fearful, be greedy. When everyone's greedy, be fearful. Warren Buffett was right. Tyler bought tops. I bought bottoms. Lesson 4. Take profits. I took money off the table multiple times, paid off debts, secured my future, then kept playing with house money. Tyler never took profits. He rode everything to zero. Lesson 6. The house always wins if you play long enough. Casinos win because they have unlimited capital and time. I treated crypto the same way. I could outlast the volatility. Tyler couldn't. Lesson 7. Ethics are negotiable when teaching lessons. Did I steal? Technically, yes. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Tyler learned more from losing that $41,000 than he would have from any lecture, and I turned it into generational wealth for my family. Today, I'm 58 years old, retired, financially free. I spend my mornings reading, my afternoons gardening, and my evenings monitoring crypto markets because old habits die hard. I still have $840,000 in crypto, still buying dips, still accumulating for the next cycle. My kids don't know the full story. My grandchildren will benefit from trust funds they don't know exist yet. And Tyler? He's probably learned his lesson. Maybe he's a better person now. Maybe he respects his elders. Or maybe he's in another Discord somewhere telling someone else they're too old to understand the next big thing. Either way, I'm good. Want to know the actual secret to my success? It wasn't the theft. It wasn't even the trading strategy. It was this. I was willing to be patient in a space designed for impatience. Crypto rewards two types of people. The extremely lucky, Tyler, briefly, the extremely patient, me. The difference is sustainability. Tyler got lucky, got cocky, and got wrecked. I got strategic, got disciplined, and got rich. Was it revenge? Partly. Was it justice? Maybe. Was it the most profitable math lesson I ever taught? Absolutely. And the best part? I'm still learning, still growing, still investing. Because that's the thing about being a dinosaur. We've survived multiple extinction events. We know how to adapt, and we absolutely know how to eat. The end. Or is it? 3 weeks ago, Tyler sent me a text. Aunt Marge, can we talk about crypto? I want to learn to do it right this time. I haven't responded yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll teach him properly, share some knowledge, help him rebuild. Or maybe I'll just send him a picture of a dinosaur emoji and a rocket ship. After all, I'm too old to hold grudges. But I'm exactly the right age to appreciate irony. Now here's the thing. If you made it this far through this merely androgynous story, you're exactly the type of person who succeeds in crypto. You have patience. You read 10,000 words while everyone else scrolled past, looking for get rich quick. You're willing to learn. So here's my challenge to you. If this story taught you something about crypto, about patience, about turning disadvantages into advantages, or just about how a math teacher can absolutely wreck a cocky nephew, then do me a solid. Hit that subscribe button like it's a buy order at the bottom of a Bitcoin dip. Smash that like button like you're taking profits at an all-time high. Because here's the truth. The real wealth isn't in crypto. It's in knowledge. It's in patience.
It's in learning from others' mistakes, looking at you, Tyler. And if you subscribe, I'll keep telling you stories about how supposedly old wisdom beats young arrogance every single time. In crypto, in business, in life. Plus, I might reveal what those 3 low-cap gems were that I 50x'd. Might. Subscribe now or stay a Tyler forever. Your choice. See? Even dinosaurs can use emojis. We just choose not to, usually.